Hey, folks. Folks! Yeah, I'm kidding. How's everybody doing today? My name is Rudy. You're watching Alpha Investments. Today, we're going to have a conversation about the overall state of the market, what's happening with YouTube. There's been a lot of interesting. There's bullish activity and bearish activity, so there's a lot of mixed signals, and it's very confusing. Let's start with a couple things. The world of social media and YouTube and the magic online community continues to, how do I say this, erode in views and excitement and interactions and engagement. So some of the other smaller YouTube channels and some of the other larger YouTube channels in the card world have sent me some messages and patron messages and said, Rudy, dude, it's frustrating. I was like, first of all, before we go any further, understand even the views on this channel, maybe because I'm boring now. It's the same old stuff over and over. The views even on this channel are probably down 50, 60%. And it's very confusing for people who haven't done this for maybe 10 years. This is kind of normal market behavior when in these different cycles. And the world of YouTube and views and, cracking packs and being a pack ripper and this whole new thing right now is definitely a new era than when I started YouTube back in 2016, even in the era of 2018-19, then the COVID era of 2021, and then the bear market of 22-23. All these different chunks of time are very, very different. Right now, what's very interesting is we're seeing a lack of engagement and a lack of excitement in the YouTube card world, social media, influencer, anything. I can make a video right now, spend a ton of money, and buy out a random reserve list card. And I can tell you all for a fact, no one would give two flying shits. Literally, it wouldn't do it. People would be like, oh my God, that's great. What are we doing for dinner? Like, that's the industry, and that's the market, and that's the attitude we're in right now. So what's happening is even the YouTube channels I talk to that have 10,000 subscribers, 20,000 subscribers, even 100,000. Even some of the guys been around a while, 150, 200,000 subscribers. Everybody is noticing the lower views and engagement, and it can be very demoralizing, demeaning, depressing, and fucking frustrating because influencer, YouTuber, whatever you want to call it, it still may put the same amount of time, work, and hours and capital to try to make these videos. And simply put, it's paying off less and less. Now, I can approach this many different ways. Obviously, there's the business side of, these are normal market cycles. I hope you planned ahead when things were booming because the market and things will always change. I hope you're ready for the next thing. You have to plan ahead. And of course, I can take a more humility, normal, emotional conversation saying, hey, we're on a downslope of social media, YouTube, and CCG world engagement, which is usually a sign of bearish activity for the upticks and money flowing into card world. But, look, 2024 YouTube, there's just not a lot of big, exciting things that happen anymore. Like, there's so many sets. We've been through so much. Most people in this industry who've been in a long time, I'll be honest about it, feels like the most people I've talked to who've been in this industry over 5 years feel very diluted and feel very burnt out and feel very like the keeping up with the Joneses and keeping up with the release cycle. It has an emotional toll that unless you're wired like with alligator skin where Rudy, where you're just numb and you've been through so much stuff, it's very mentally challenging to deal with. And we've, over the last 10 years on YouTube, I've seen a lot of magic channels, investing channels, buy my CD, get rich channel, buy my program for $1,000. I've seen a lot of things come and go. And historically, most YouTubers, influencers, and whatever it may be, they don't stand the test of time, and usually the average life cycle of a YouTuber is 1 to 2 years max. There's always exceptions, but that is the average life cycle before they either give up, it's not worth the time, or simply put, it doesn't grow or sink. It just stays the same. It's like, what the fuck is the point of this? And it happens a lot, and that's why there's a lot of exiting and a lot of moving on in life with YouTube stuff. Right now, we are definitely going through this era where there's so many YouTube videos, channels, so many streamers, so many crack and pack and rip and ship. There's so much of this type of thing. It doesn't feel as exciting, doesn't feel as special. Now, you're always going to have someone new come along, make it flashier, fancier, better, and it's fun to watch. There's nothing wrong with that. But this is a normal shift in this world. And every day, there is more and more YouTube channels, more and more videos, and more dilution to what I do, what you all may do, or what other YouTubers may do. So I'm going to be honest with you all. Moving into the future, the odds of even newer LGSs, newer YouTubers trying to make it or anything continue to decline year over year, because it's just less and less money, less and less views, less and less engagement. You layer that on top of a world where there's so much product and so much turnover and so much volatility in prices and so much emotional mood swings. It's an extremely difficult direction to kind of take in life and be a part of. And there's times where everybody's excited about a product. It goes up, it goes crazy. Right now, I don't know, Ixalan or Wilds of Eldraine or Lord of the Rings or Ravnica or, Fallout or, whatever, or Bloom Burrows, the new thing now. I mean, it's always going to be some exciting thing. But you can learn a lot by seeing the views. And not just the views, because people can fake that. But just the engagement. Look at the comments. Look at what's going on out there, And, well, I mean, I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. So we're going to pause that whole conversation. Now we're going to jump over to Magic. Here's a counterpoint. In the last 7 to 10 days, I've had a lot of patrons message me and say, Rudy, dude, you got to discuss Karlov Manor. I'm like, oh God, here we go. Collector boxes. The things that you were bundling and dumping to patrons, everything. I was like, okay, you have to see it. I was like, why? Something happened? Did it go up 50 cents? And then when I had a message last night, say, Rudy, there's literally one case of loose box. There are 24 loose boxes of Karlov collector boxes on TCG Player before Karlov collectors go to $200 a box again. And that message alone made me step back and be like, no, I literally didn't believe it. I opened TCG Player. I went on TCG Player and I counted how many loose collector boxes of Karlov Manor on TCG Player. And sure enough, I think I counted 23 at the time of filming this video. So you're telling me, if I buy 23 loose collector boxes of Karlov right now, the cheapest TCG Player price of a Karlov collector is now $200 a box again. Wow. Okay. That's something I did not think was going to swing and happen that quickly and shift, but apparently it did. So I don't know what that means. How come quietly the market's thinned so much and it's now, like, you're telling me that in 3 to 6 months Karlov collectors are going to be over 200 again? Like, in less than a year from release? So things like that are very confusing and they're very tricky to understand. So let's put that aside. And now we continue to look at things like, well, let's look at new Magic. Bloom Burrow, off the chart. Idiots are still buying TCG Player play boxes for $140 plus tax. It's like $150 something shipped for a play box. Again, Creepy Evil Basement 2.0 Rudy 3 balls left nut. $116 shipped. All play boxes. Permanently. Every set. Thunder Junction, Outlaws, Back to the Future Part 3, Wild West. Karlov, everyone's favorite set. And of course, Bloom Burrow. I think I'm averaging 40 to 60 orders a day of just $116 play boxes. So, that's very bullish. Now, of course, people are going to say, well, Rudy, that's just because you're fire selling them to the people who support you. And I was like, well, yeah, that's kind of how I feel. But at the same time, this time last year, I was not getting 40, 50 orders a day of standard boxes that people were buying from me for patrons. I didn't have that. That's a math. This isn't like, I had 4 orders a day from patrons, and now I went from 4 orders a day to 6. That's a 50% increase. 4 people to 6 people. No. 40 orders a day of 1 to 6 boxes of mixed play and draft is fucking substantial. Even if the average order size is not even a case of 6. Let's say the average order size is 3 to 4 boxes. That's 200 boxes every single day. Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday, Every day I wait, it's just constant. That's 1,400 boxes of play and draft, 91 draft and 1 CD play per week that you all are buying from me shipped to your door. Now, that does not align. Again, this channel is sponsored by myself. I got to promote myself and shill for Rudy. Duh. Come on, dude. So I have to, that's how I stay around. But that kind of bullish buying, deploying of money from that many people does not align with the negative commentary, the limited engagement, the low views of all Magic channels compared to a year or two ago when things were crazy. And it's a really, again, that's why I said this video. The data points are very, very confusing. Okay? They're very confusing. Literally 10 days ago, everybody thought the world was ending, the stock market was collapsing, we're going to 2008. And everybody started freaking out. And I told everybody else, just calm down, Buttercup. Flush outs and shakeups are the most healthiest thing. In CCG markets, Bitcoin markets, Wall Street, equities, the S&P 500, you need that kind of shakeup. Because if you don't have those, you get the idiots who leverage 10x and go on margin and triple leverage ETFs on margin. And then they take out credit card loans 0% and they put it in. They're leveraging 30 to 1. And, people get greedy. They get dumb. They get cocky. And they forget that you can't do that. Okay? The best thing to do if you're a Wall Street guy, fucking S&P 500. Now, I didn't say buy the leverage one, which has internal expenses and rebalancing and different type of long-term metrics of how it compounds. If we have a kangaroo sideways market, you're going to get annihilated. If we have a downturn, you're going to get annihilated. Oh, but if it goes straight up, Rudy, I'll make 3-4 times the S&P. Yeah, you sure will. But you better hope for that, and you better have perfect timing, princess. And see, that kind of stuff is just, we don't make the decisions. I don't make decisions that build wealth long-term that are based on the I hope and what if. I take the data, I take all the possible scenarios, and I try to pick what I feel is most likely, and then I say what has the most limited downside risk. Well, for some stupid reason, Carlo of Manor is making a run back to $200 collector boxes. And no, I don't even have any for sale. I guess I should have bought some when distribution and stores were dumping. I just wasn't even focused on it. I was focused on other things like Lord of the Rings and Ixalan and Ravnica Remaster. And all of a sudden, Carlo, Thunder Junction and Bloom, and all of a sudden I'm just like, what in the world? It's super weird. Anyways, so I wanted to first acknowledge we had a couple important things. So one, social media, YouTubers, and influencers continue across the board, including me, are continuing to feel the side effects of lower views, lower engagement, lower revenue due to multiple variables. Number one, the internet's just flooded with stuff. It doesn't feel special. The diluted, you can feel it out there. I can feel the difference. I make these videos, if this was 2 years ago, this video right now would probably get 50,000 views. This video right now, whenever you're watching it, just comment below. Hey, Rudy, I'm watching this, how many views you have? I'm curious in a week and a month. You can't tell in the first day or two, but after a week when it settles, I'm curious the views. But this video will probably get 15,000 views, most. Not 50,000. In 2021, when I was making videos, crazy and pumping them out and doing all this stuff, this YouTube channel would make $15,000 to $20,000 to $22,000 a month just from videos and AdSense on Google. Now, this channel is probably making, just you guys watching this channel, probably makes 6 to 8, maybe 10,000 on a good month. So again, I'm not complaining. I'm still grateful for anything, but I'm letting you know that is the difference in data. If this channel was used to make 22,000 a month, and now it's making 7,000 a month, that's a 65% decline in revenue and cash flow. Now, obviously, my business and empire is in 5 different categories: the patrons, the products, the things I sit on, long-term, short-term, the videos, real estate, interest, dividends, corporate bonds, tons of stocks, covered calls, Bitcoin, Ethereum staked, this and that, and of course, real estate with rental income, as I said already. I have all these different tentacles all over your ex-wife. So, if any tentacle gets cut off because you discover it touching your ex-wife, I'm still able to survive with one less tentacle that's kind of like that, No giggities. This is a serious video. So, for me, when the ebbs and flows, like last 2 years, the magic market was just collapsing, and every month I was just losing tons of money on my inventory and value of the market. If you adjusted my inventory, it did market value, mark to market of the sealed product I had, I was just dropping. I mean, I probably lost, I don't know, 5, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15 million from the peak of 21 all the way to 24 or 23 in the crash, and just write-downs. I mean, I don't really do write-downs in it, but I mean just the value of the inventory if I were to sell it at that moment in time. Now, obviously, 2024, a lot of that is recovered. Now, let's talk about another thing, because we make some individual videos on this stuff, but some of this stuff is just an interesting couple-minute talk. Let's talk about Unfinity. So in Magic the Gathering, the Unfinity, you know, the draft boxes and, well, the collector boxes, full disclosure, I bet heavy on that years ago. Obviously, I look like a Timmy and a dumbass, and I'm just a stupid moron with Chuck Norris fists in my face, because I kept a ton of the collector boxes. I invested myself, after selling to patrons, I kept like 1,500 Unfinity collector boxes. And I've had them for years now. And, you know, my cost basis from distribution was like, I don't know, maybe it was before the price increase, so 170 instead of 180s or something. Let's just say an even 170. And Unfinity collector boxes collapsed all the way down to like $100 a box in the bear market. So I was down hundreds of thousands of dollars. And, you know, even if I ran a sale to patrons for $129, $139, $140, nobody would fucking buy it. People would just make fun of me saying, wow, why am I here? You're an asshole. I'd get that type of stuff and, you know, lose accounts, ban, slot pops open, someone else runs it. Same old hamster wheel in the sky turns, and we all love each other, right? And now, all of a sudden, in 2024, even with bad engagement, YouTube, no excitement, all this stuff, you know, we have weird shit happening. Karlov is trying to get out of foreclosure, and Karlov Manor's making a run back to the $200 collector box price. I guess I should have bought a bunch of that shit. I fucked that one up. Again, see? Even I was emotional, and I was like, well, I've got my position, and, well, I guess, I don't know, I guess I'm just going to wait and see what happens, you know? Because back then, even in the beginning of the year, I was like, oh, maybe they'll Amazon dump those, right? That's what the internet says, right? So, I fucked that one up, you know? So, now, there's all this chatter with Unfinity. So after me, literally hundreds of thousands of paper loss in inventory of me investing in Unfinity collector boxes and draft boxes, which are all just straight shit, all of a sudden, in the last 30, 60, 90 days, I go on TCG Player and I'm like, Unfinity collector boxes, 180 plus tax. Add to cart, what is that out the door? 195? What? So suddenly, how on earth did 9 months ago, at the bottom of the bear market, at Q3 of 2023, an Unfinity collector box was like 110, 115, and now it's almost back to 200. Yeah. And again, for a guy who has 1,500 boxes I invested in, because no matter what the internet wants to tell you, because they're full of shit and idiots, I show you the stuff I do, which makes some people angry, which makes some people be like, wow, that's the dumbest idiot I've ever seen. Why does he do this shit? Because I like to show you that, well, when I do offer products and I sell products and I offer them to you all, I not only do that, I keep them because I don't carry the product unless I think there's potential. Sometimes the market rejects the product, everything goes to shit, and it happens, right? Other times, things come back with a vengeance. Looking at you, Lord of the Rings special, when everybody said, fuck you at $260, $270 a box. And now everyone's like, please, Rudy, sell me Lord of the Rings special. I'll give you $5.99. I'll buy a case at $5.50. And yes, I will be honest with you all. I have Lord of the Rings holiday special boxes. And yes, I don't have a little bit of them. I have a lot of them. I don't think anyone in the country has more Lord of the Rings holiday special boxes than me, because nobody fucking bought them from me, and I got stuck with it because I bet heavy on it because it was Lord of the Rings. And it was a nasty feeling for many months last year when nobody bought them, and I got stuck with them. And I had to foot the bill. I even had to withdraw some money from my brokerage account to pay the distributor the couple $100,000, and literally I actually had to split it over 45 days because I couldn't sell them. And I didn't want to zero out my cash flow. I had to actually move money from my brokerage account because of the situation like that. And I was pretty pissed about it for a while, which is why I stopped selling. I won't even offer Lord of the Ring holiday box opening. I cut it all off. I had the same feelings I had when I was with the Pokemon Rudy's bathroom. I haven't discussed that publicly, but I was really pissed about it. I had a lot of arguments with the distribution, begging them to like lower the price $10, help me out, or we went back and forth. I mean, it was a thing. It was a thing. And eventually, dude, like I have a couple of my Lord of the Rings holiday collector master cases that I have. The master case is 24 boxes. There's actually, the corners are actually smashed because I was so angry. I know you guys are like probably gonna freak the fuck out of me. I have 2 master cases, Lord of the Rings specials, 24 collector box each. I chucked them. They were on a card table. I picked it up and threw it 20 feet into like a wall of other cases, and it just like pierced the box and hit the concrete. And then I kicked it and I pushed it under a table, and I threw the rest of it. I was so like, I don't want to move. I don't want to. I feel like it's just getting weird in this video. Some of you guys are just going to tune in to hear me having a Rudy mental breakdown. Ugh. But it's just, I'm telling you this stuff because people in the public don't seem to understand the difficulties and complexities in the mental mind games that it takes to survive in this long term. You know, people who are new on this channel go, oh, wow, look at Rich Rudy, R squared. Ooh, R squared. I like that. You know, must be easy, this and that, trust fund, your left nut. People, you know, but then you have smarter people who've been around the channel for a while, and they know some of my past. They've seen some of the history. I've shared the pictures of what I looked like in a mechanic's uniform for a dealership. I've shared some of my past in the restaurants and waiting tables. And like, I wish I was a trust fund baby, because man, I wouldn't have some of the crazy PTSD crazy shit in my head that I went through, and I wouldn't be as crazy talking to you guys. But no, the reality is this industry is aggressive and it's difficult. And there's a reason that most LGSs, most YouTubers, and most people in this industry don't stay in it. There is a reason the turnover of the player base, the collectors, the influencers, the people who are flippers, there's a reason we have substantial turnover in this industry, okay? Everyone just, oh, game pieces. Oh, serialized card, that's stupid, reserve list. Oh, reserve list, is it gone yet? Is Rudy fucked? You're gonna have what I have to call the little Pac-Man voices and the silly stuff and all the negative and positive. And you're gonna have that tug of war of online culture and social media where only the smartest people in the world spend their time doing the tweets and spending it on MySpace. That's what the smartest people in the world do. They don't change the world. They don't invent things. They don't run businesses. They spend time on MySpace. They spend time on Tinders and Backpages and Silk Roads, and they tweet, and then they're angry, all that, right? But the truth, to be very blunt with you all, you know, there's a reason we have the churning turnover rate of buyers, YouTubers, LGSs, and people. Because nobody seems to give enough credit to the difficulty and challenges that are involved with this sector. And it's almost like an unwritten thing. You know, I've had 30, 40, maybe even 50 people in the last 10 years trying to copy my Patreon, copy my YouTube channel. It could be more than that. That's just the ones that people send me links and say, hey, look, it's Rudy Jr., it's Rudy 2.0. Look at this guy. This guy even literally went to your Patreon, Rudy, signed up, copied and pasted your whole post and copied on your... I've seen it all. And I, you know, as I respond to most of those people, I always say, hey, envy, jealousy, copying, duplication, cloning Rudy is the ultimate form of flattery, mental problems, and honestly, you can't build a business. Let me give you guys a pro tip. Let me give you a pro tip. Let me give you a life pro tip, right? Should I make a YouTube video life pro tip? When you buy cucumbers from the grocery store, make sure that your woman... fuck it. No life pro tips. Let me just give you guys a piece of life advice. You cannot build a business or an empire on the back of bashing in negativity towards another individual, another store, another LGS, or a brand. You can get some views and you can get that raw army who are just very frustrated with their life, but you cannot build empires built on the backbone of bashing that other store or that other YouTuber, okay? So I want to make that very clear. That's why you really don't see them on this channel. There's 3,000 plus videos, and I've done some videos in the past I'm not proud of, or we talk about a store did something bad, or maybe something going on, and I mean, even those I don't like doing, but whatever. But I'm telling you all, the key to this stuff in long term is you find your own niche, you find your own calling. And for me, I was very fortunate in this world that I did find my calling that I'm passionate about, and most of the things I do don't feel like work. And if you're good at it, you have a passion for it, and you go all in, eventually the money will come. The money, people who build the business say, Rudy, I got this idea, we're going to turn into millions, then we're going to sell it for millions. People who have that attitude, historically, it doesn't work, okay? The people who have a passion or get obsessed with things and do that, and they build something, they build a brand, an image, they get a niche, it tends to lead to money. And the money is a byproduct of that business. And that's my attitude. Every time, am I going to carry this product? I think about it. I think the long-term potential. Is the universe is beyond? What's the IP? What's the collectability of it? How do people feel about it? What are the odds of that? What's the market cycle? What's the YouTube world, right? You know, you have to take all this stuff, turn it around, and kind of try to spit out an answer based on the best of your ability with the data you have in the moment, okay? So that brings me to, what does all the fucking, what does this mean? We got a social media influencer YouTube world that has low views, low engagement, no real excitement, a lot of burnout, a lot of this and that. Okay, Standard's dead. Oh, Modern's game pieces, man. Bro, who the fuck cares about that? Liliana's 55 cents. Jake the Mind Sculptor, the only thing he mind sculpts is the dumpster out back. No, like the attitudes are different. Okay? And then, I can go across the board, right? Look at Pokemon. Oh, Scarlet, Violet. Pokemon ended with Sword and Shield. Rudy, hold my taco nachos Bel Grande and watch what happens to Scarlet Violet. Flesh and Blood. Oh, it's all dead. Go on to zero. Right? Misfil, most recent set, Flesh and Blood. Most successful set they've had in 2.0 fat, period. Off the charts. Okay? Sorcery. Oh, it's another pump and dump new thing. Yeah, I wouldn't bet against that one. But again, who the fuck knows what the future holds? Let's see. It's fun, right? Let's ride the wave. Let's see what happens. Okay? Weiss. Rudy, those are just anime girls. All you're concerned about is the girls in Weiss and their health and their curves and their bathing suits. Well, someone has to be concerned about the health of the beautiful ladies. There's nothing wrong with that. I was like, Rudy, nobody's into Weiss, bro. It just tells me how ill-informed people are to some of this stuff. And when you look at all these things going on, then we go back to Magic. Karlov Manor, collector box, it's about to go all the way back up. I don't get it, but it is. Okay? Bloomborough, people are paying crazy prices for play boxes. And I'm like, it's like, you do know you could just, work with evil scumbag ex-boyfriend Rudy. You could buy like 3 Ixalan boxes for $91. You can get 2 Thunder Junctions and a Bloom play boxes. They're all 100. Like, you can save like $100 a month just in that one thing, not including the other 15 sales a month. Got a show for myself. Come on. This channel is sponsored by me. I don't take outside stuff. I don't do ad reads. I don't do any of this stuff. It is what it is. So, how do we take all this? How do we determine what this means moving forward? Well, to end this video, which means we're halfway through the video, it's a very conflicting, difficult market to read right now. As I sit in my office and I think about this stuff, it's really, really tough to know where this is leading. 2 weeks ago, the amount of you all and the amount of patrons sent me messages freaking out that the stock market and we're hitting it, this is it. The yen carry trade, Rudy! And all this stuff about the bubbles, the crash, I knew it. Rudy, we're about to go to the barter system. Get your bunkers ready. And then suddenly it just goes away. The market starts going up again. Bitcoin's back to, 60, 65,000, whatever it is today. Who the fuck swings like a crazy Rudy hamster wheel. And here we are looking at Magic as Magic across the board continues to just perform. Hasbro has been having incredible quarters, an incredible 2024. And, again, you guys know, full disclosure, I'm a very large shareholder in Hasbro. That's not really a hidden thing. You can do whatever you want with that. I've been for years. I don't really care if it goes up or down. I collect my dividends, and I'm just aware of what's going on the collectible side. And I can tell you all, the Magic world and the demand for the cheap draft boxes that are now pushing up to play boxes, and the demand for these new collector boxes, which are now collectible again, with lower print runs and demanded for chase cards and subsets and special guests and serialized. And Bloomborough collectors have these gold little animal cards, and they're $100, $200, $300 a card. And Bloomborough collectors, ladies, you all are aware, there's no more restocks coming. Bloomborough collectors, everything's already shipped to distribution. Some of the distributors are holding back some cases and maybe a half pallet, but ladies and gentlemen, it's done. There's no more Bloomborough. There's not a second wave, a third reprint. I don't and It's been out, and the box price are still like $230 plus tax TCG player. This stuff is so crazy, man. It's so weird to see market upticks in products coming out over and over. Like, I look back at all these products. Everybody thinks Assassin's Creed is trash going to zero, and it's still doing incredibly well. Like, you can consider it a failure. The market hates it, is rejecting it, continue to dump it. But I'm like, it's a great product. It was incredibly successful. You know, I can, like, every set, the weakest thing we had was Karlov Manor, which is play boxes. One item that's below wholesale store cost. And with Karlov Collectors recovering, you literally, if Karlov Collectors goes to 200 plus, ladies and gentlemen, that means every single collector box from Wildsville Drain, Ixalan, Doctor Who, Ravnica Remastered, Karlov Manor, Thunder Junction, Fallout, Assassin's Creed, and the newest set, Bloomy. That's like 10 releases of collector boxes for almost a year in a row with incredible success. We haven't had that kind of bull market success. I don't think we've ever had a streak this strong since the collector box was invented. And yet everyone's like, I'm like, am I the only one in my parents' basement? Pretend I'm in my parents' basement. Not wearing pants, holding myself, thinking, well, I guess the world's going to end any moment. Oh shit, the sun's coming out again. I thought for sure that sun wouldn't come out today. Let me go find it. Like, it's unreal. The stock market was supposed to collapse to zero. Greatest recession ever. What's the hot thing now? Oh, that's right. Politics. It's an election year. Trump's going to get voted in and the market's going to collapse. Wait, no. Kamala Harris is going to get it. We're all doomed. Like, I'll give you guys another pro tip here. Nothing to do with my left nut. No tether balls. None of that. Let me give you guys a pro tip. No matter who wins the political war, the war on politics, let me be honest with you all. Let me give you guys a pro tip. I'm going to give you like a secret here. I'm going to admit something private. No matter who wins, whether the person you love or hate wins, your life is still going to be challenging. Nothing's going to change, and you're still going to be pissed the next day. All right. No, Rudy, that's not true. No, that's not true. No, Trump's going to favor the rich and people like you. Like, no, Kamala's they're going to print money machine go burr. And dude, you know how many times in history everybody said, I'm not going to do anything till the election. I'm going to wait for it. Don't be a Timmy. Nothing is going to change. The only thing that's going to change is your attitude and how you feel emotionally. Guess what? I'm going to check again. I'll make part 2 in this video. I'll see if the sun comes out tomorrow, because I'm not sure. I got an email from the sun said, I don't know if I fucking feel like it. Go fuck yourself. I said, geez, man, you're just the sun. Calm down. And shit doesn't matter, folks. The show will go on. So as we wrap this video up, which means we're 3/4 of the way through the video, towards the beginning, I think a lot of this stuff is a perspective, mental strength game that we're all playing. And I've said over the last 10 years on this channel, as Old Man Rudy, it's not really always about the money. It's not about being right or wrong. I believe most of the battle that we are playing, ladies and gentlemen, it's not market timing. Look at my story on the Infinity Collector boxes. Smart man Rudy, after I sold to patrons for, say, $200 a box, I kept a shit ton of boxes and I rode it to the ground, looked like an idiot. Now suddenly everybody fucking wants Infinity silver bordered cards. The prices are going crazy. Suddenly these space shocklands. Fucking years later, oh my god, Rudy, do you have any? Like, I've had like 6 patrons in the last 2-3 weeks. Hey Rudy, can I buy a case of 6 Infinity Collector boxes? Just give me like $15 off a box compared to TCG players. So give me $100 off a case. Let's just do it. Like, I've been 2.5 years or some shit, and no one's even asked for 1 box. Like, these are examples of how no matter how you feel, when that sun comes out and says, haha, LOL, you don't know when and how the market will shift on you. Good or bad. Good or bad. Okay? And to sum this video up, now that we're actually at the end of the video and I'm doing my intro to the beginning of the video, I don't think people grasp the most important thing of all this stuff is the mental fortitude and the mindfuck game of this whole thing. This is like an international chess match, and everybody's trying to figure it out. And the funny thing about it is, the laziest, most patient, do-nothing Rudy attitude will probably lead you to most of the victories. Because like I said before, when we had the Monday crash, the best thing to do is probably nothing at all. Unless you have money, maybe you can just buy on the way down. I mean, every time you buy stock, the next day the stock goes down and you feel like an idiot. And the right thing to do is to buy again, but then it goes down further, and eventually you either run out of money or you get depressed because you're an idiot. And in reality, you're actually doing the right thing. Remember that, folks. Don't forget, I'm going to repeat my old story. Stock market peaked Q3 of 2007, and we went through 18-month crash to the bottom of the stock market, which was March of 2009, through the 2008 crash. I was a licensed broker at Merrill Lynch. We got fucked and got bought out by the government in a forced buyout of Bank of America. I was there. Oh, it was fun. And when I say it was fun, it was a fucking shit show. And let me tell you all something. If you had bought at the tippy top of the market, and you bought all the way down, and you lost your money all the way down, you bought at the top of the market, lost half your money. If you had still kept it, you'd be up 200, 300, 400% today. 2, 3, 4, 5x your money, depending where you bought on that scale. Even if you bought at the top. What are you, only up 3x on your money? Oh, you bought at the bottom? Oh, you're up 5x. Oh, nobody cares. Somebody walks up to you and says, hey, Rudy, I just made 3x my money. Oh, what a loser. Well, who are you? Oh, I made 4x. Oh, that son of a bitch. He's a smart one. Nobody does that. If you make anything, it's in the same category of greatness. And the difference is how it feels. The guy who bought all the way down and was miserable for years and hated everything. But little did he know he was doing the right thing. And he didn't know he was doing the right thing until 5, 10, 15, 20 years later when he made a ton of money. And these type of stories are the stories you don't hear about. The internet's filled with these gurus and influencers that pretty much they make their money selling you the program and trying to get you pumped up and your life and your attitude is worth the hustle, all this stupid shit. And really, if you just have a better relationship with money, have a better relationship with your time, you know how to trade your time and leverage your time and trade it for working. Trade your time for money. Take the money and don't be stupid with it. Don't spend it all vaping and smoking. Don't spend it all on alcohol, going out chasing the woo girls. I know they're curvy. I know you're concerned about the health and those tight bathing suits and the straps around their neck. I know. I understand. But I'm telling you, you can work as hard as you want. But if you don't do the right thing with the resources, you're not going to get anywhere. You can work you can grind until you fall over, but if you don't really make right choices with that, it's a multi-layer thing. And yeah, there are some people out there watching this video. No matter what happened, with all due respect, you're kind of fucked. You won't get ahead. That's if you want honest truth that people won't tell you. That's how it is. Now, for most people, there's always a way, but there's some people that it's just not going to work out, and that is a sad part about life. And you got to do the best you can to make sure you don't fall in that category. And that's my speech for today, ladies and gentlemen, is that most of this stuff that we do in the card world is really not as much always about the work or the market timing or anything. It really is the mental game. I would say this is at least 50% mental and strategy and patience. And now we have a market in 2024 where everything's doing well, but it feels like we're doing bad. So how do you handle that? How do you emotionally swallow that, giggity, and how do you move forward? How do you move forward when everything feels bad, but the data doesn't represent how you should be feeling? That's where it gets really, that's when it really, you gridlock. No way, things can't be booming and doing good. I mean, dude, everything sucks. Everyone I talk to is struggling. There's no money, the inflation, it's going to get worse. But then there's no way. Rudy's got to be full of shit. The data's got to be wrong. How you feel and how I feel, the data does not care about that. The same way Rudy's penis does not care about your emotions.